Hi, I'm Harold Bell for the Legends of Inside Sports and the Way We Were. The thought for today was inspired by the stand your ground laws and the senseless shooting deaths of Trayvon and Jason and the disappearance of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd in Washington, D.C. In 1965, I returned home from college after chasing my dreams to play in the NFL to work with at-risk children for the self-help group known as the United Planning Organization. UPO was located in the Shore Cardozo corridor at 11th and U Street Northwest. My job title, neighborhood worker. UPO hired two other neighborhood workers who would go on to become household names in radio, television, and the civil rights movement. One was a native Washingtonian like myself, and the other young brother hailed from New Orleans. They were Petey Green and H. Rap Brown, respectively. There was one thing I understood in working with children. They are very impressionable. You have to be very careful in what you do and what you say around them. So I needed to be a very careful man because there would be a bunch of little fellows following me. So I dared not go astray for fear that they would go that self same way. I could not once escape their eyes for everything I did. They would try. They thought that I was good and fine and believed in every word of mine. The bad in me, I could not allow them to see, the little fellows that followed me. I had to remember, as I would go through summer sun and winter snow, I was building for the years to be, for the little fellows that followed me. Petey Green was an ex-con with the gift of gab, and H. Rap Brown was a quiet 6'5", highly intelligent youngster who could throw a football 60 yards in the air on the run and hit a moving target. I was the moving target. I was so impressed, I invited him to try out for the Virginia Sailors. The Sailors were a local minor league football team that I played for on the weekends. They were affiliated with the Washington Pro football team known as the Washington Redskins. H. Rap Brown took me up on my challenge and showed up one day with Petey Green to try out. He wore his trademark black tam and dark glasses during the drills. He wowed both the players and the coaches with his pinpoint passing. He was the talk of the camp, but the coaches cut him after 3 days. He scared them even though he never spoke above a whisper. In 1967, the DC Recreation Department would hire me for its Elite Roving Leader program to work with youth gangs in the city, thanks to a grant provided by the United Planning Organization. Petey would stay on to continue his work with UPO, and H. Rap Brown would move on to become the chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and he later served as the Minister of Defense for self-help group the Black Panther Party. Hollywood would later make a movie of Petey Green's life story as a pioneering radio and television talk show host. H. Rap Brown is now serving a life sentence in a Colorado jail for shooting two black state troopers. One died. His life story has yet to be told in a movie theater. In 1993, 25 years later, my wife Hattie and I were hosting our 25th annual Christmas toy party for needy children at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Washington, D.C. We must always remember that Big Brother and Little Brother are always watching, and that includes the player haters who are also waiting for you to stumble. But I was in for a big surprise when I realized that a close family friend was watching me. Earl Tillman was his name, and he had written a poem honoring my work as a youth advocate, and he read it at the toy party. And now I want to read it to you. He said, "Who is Harold Bell? From where I sit, a man obsessed with children's plight. He walks away from compromise, aggressively wanting things right. Who is Harold Bell? From where I sit, he is an arrogant rebel with youth as his cause. He keeps raising their issues without fear or pause. Why does Harold Bell do what he does, and why does he do it his way? It may be because many others who did it are no longer doing it today. It may be that those who have risen to the heights don't quite remember anymore. For once they have left the place of their birth, they throw away the key that once opened the door. Harold Bell is no diplomat. Perhaps he doesn't know how the game is played. Perhaps he is too naive to think that superstars are not coming back where he stays. Could it be that it's not vogue to court the poor, or not want a black child to die? Or maybe it's politically incorrect to ask the question why. Maybe Harold Bell speaks up too much, or perhaps he's far too crude, or maybe he has spoken out against the establishment, or maybe he's just been rude. But Harold Bell didn't invent rudeness, nor does he speak as loud as some. For leaders have known through the ages that justice goes to the beating drum. Harold Bell perhaps understands that silence somehow appears to be consent, and he knows that our oppressors flourish when our heads and backs are bent. He also knows that children may be homeless or parentless or in pain. He also knows that their need to survive is real, and to reach out to our children, the world gains. Thank God Harold Bell has access to the media so that we can read and listen to his candid, outspoken word. Thank God for readers and listeners who understand motivation is what we need. Thank God for those like Harold Bell who speak out against kids killing kids, crack, heroin, and speed. It is hard for me to understand why some may dislike Harold Bell. He's such a nice guy, it's hard to believe someone would turn him off while little children die. There may have been a word that even Harold Bell could say that would have caused the listener to save a child along the way. But such is life. We can't always please. So why expect it of Harold Bell? He did not create today's problems, and who are we to judge? We do so little well. At least he studied on the course, and he's consistent from year to year. We need more Harold Bells who understand our plight and a grieving mother's tears. That's my thought for today. I'm Harold Bell for the Legends of Inside Sports, and I'll see you next time.